Good morning, everyone. This is Miss Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of running. We're here with Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. Robin will be joining us in the chat. She's going to be off camera today. She gets an opportunity to pop in. But in the meantime, I want to give a shout out to our producer, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. And I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups. We're the Biz Chicks. And today our guest is Cesar Figueroa. He's going to be talking to us about how to fulfill your resolutions. We all made these wonderful New Year's resolutions. Let's see how to get them done. How you doing this morning, Cesar?
I'm doing really well, Terry. Thank you for having me on again. I appreciate the reach out and the exposure.
Well, we love what you do. So, could you share with the audience a little bit about what you do and how you do it? Maybe in a 60-second commercial.
Sure. I consider myself a mind and body wellness coach. So I do some personal training and I teach some iris meditation. And then I also do some energy work, so some energy healing. So it's just a combination of those three components, coaching people through mostly weight loss and getting healthier. So I started on my journey with a big weight loss story in high school, and then kind of propelled me to want to study a little bit more about the body. Now I'm just fascinated with it. And I just love to see people transform before my eyes, changing into healthier habits or healthier routines. And just to see the transformation right in front of my eyes is what keeps me going.
Wow. So I'm curious. Tell us a little bit about the high school weight loss. Where did you go from what to what?
Yeah. So I was trying out for the JV soccer team, and I was about 230 pounds, probably like 5'10". So I was a little overweight, and definitely wasn't muscle, So I was trying out for the JV soccer team, was coming in last on the runs, and I remember the day I made a decision to not be the last guy coming in on the runs. And so that following year, what I did is just by brutal force, would go to the gym. I would run to the gym, lift weights, play basketball, play sports, and I would work out like 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I lost 70 pounds in that year.
Wow.
And then just started changing who I was as a person, my mindset. I didn't know that I was doing all these things, but I was just focused on my body. But now, say, I don't know, that was probably like 20 years ago. I've learned all kinds of things about the body and the mind and how they work together. And so I take this holistic approach to helping people use those components.
Wow. Well, I'm always fascinated by that story. And because people who are watching often have not seen you before, I wanted you to recap that story for us. Thank you. So can you tell us a little bit? Can you tell us a little bit about how we're going to get started fulfilling our resolutions?
Yeah, well, by this time, a lot of people, right? It's the 30th of the month, and by this time, usually people are on that point where they already kind of let them go, or they're just struggling to just keep it going. So either they're at the breaking point or they already given up, right? And so I feel that obviously in this group, there's a lot more entrepreneurs. The people are a lot more disciplined about what they do in their daily activities or daily lives. And I think what starts deteriorating us is not seeing the progress or not seeing any changes right away. So it's going to take a little bit of time to see the progress. And that's what I like about Tony Robbins. He says, you don't want to look for progress, not perfection, because in progress, you see everything that you've kind of accomplished so far. And so I think what's derails us is setting out these audacious goals. And not that there's wrong with making audacious goals, but also we don't have the right system to keep us going on a regular basis. Yeah.
Okay.
So I used to coach my clients through making what we call, I'm sure you've heard of the whole term SMART goals, the acronym, right? Making your goals specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and with a time constraint. And I kind of moved a little bit away from that as over the years in studying what creates that, or what there's a stress that comes with that, with making something so rigid and it has to look this way and it has to be this way. I found over the last few years that when we get to our goals, or when we're able to accomplish our goals, we really accomplish the feeling that we set out to make or to create in our lives, not so much the specific goal, right? Like it's not, say I finally got a chance to go to Costa Rica a couple years ago, and I made that goal like 5 years ago, and I wanted to complete it in that year. And it just caused me so much stress that I was like, okay, I need to save up this much amount of money, and I gotta make this much. And what it does is causes you more stress than actually fulfilling you and looking forward to your goal, right? Because you're trying to accomplish it by a certain date. And to me, I find that that's a little bit constraining instead of allowing myself to open up to it. And so once I found that I've accomplished a lot of my goals, not necessarily within the time frame that I set it out to, I realized that it's the feeling that I had. It's going to look different than what I set out to, but I have the same feeling that I really intended. So that's where it plays with seeing things as a visual goal, and also being able to tune into it as far as emotionally, and recognizing that, oh, this is what I did want in my life, and this is what I accomplished. It's that feeling, not so much the visual or the object that I was set out to do.
Okay, so I'm not sure I understand. Okay, so let's say that the objective is to get to Costa Rica and to get there this year, but you said it took you longer, okay? But am I understanding this correct when I say, but the celebration is about the fact that the goal was never let go of and it was achieved? Is that what we're talking about? Or can you make that plainer for me?
It was achieved not by the way I wanted it to be, right? I was so adamant about it had to look this way. Like I had to fly out of this airport. I had to do, I had to have this much money in the bank, and I had to have these things lined up. And none of those things happened, but the feeling of me being there is what was more important. So when I set intentions or goals with people now, I do 2 columns, right? I say, make a list of goals of what you want to accomplish. And then we go through a meditation. And I think I did this last time, is I took people through a little meditation, and I tell you guys to get into the feeling of already accomplishing it, right? And then recognize those feelings and then write them down. So you're going to make 2 columns, one with your goals and one with the feelings that came up with you already accomplishing those goals. And so now the key is to be able to merge those 2 and to really tune into those emotions, really tune into those feelings that you're getting from already accomplishing that goal.
Okay, and then how do we get the goal accomplished? Because don't we need steps to get there?
Of course, yeah. And that's what that's where this approach, say from my business or my coaching, comes from, is from approaching it from different angles, not just the physical body, right? So a lot of my people want to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
And there's a obesity epidemic in this world, especially this country, that they're trying to lose weight, right? And weight loss, I think most people, if they really get specific, or they want to lose fat, right? Is that's what's making us unhealthy. That's making us feel not comfortable in our own clothing, making us feel bad about ourselves. So we need to get more, say, in tune with the right intention. We're trying to lose fat, and so people might be doing the right things, like nutritionally, they're eating healthy, they're exercising, right? But they still aren't able to lose the weight or lose the fat. And it's because it's not just a physical component of things, right? It takes a lot more, like you guys coach on a lot on mindset, right? I saw that you guys had an episode on, mindset. So that has an extra component to it. So I approach goals, and specifically weight loss goals, with the whole mind, body, energy components, and bringing those three together. We know that exercise helps you boost good feelings in your body, right? And everything's controlled by the hormones in our body. So we might be eating the right foods, but our body is not functioning correctly, where it's actually taking that energy from the food and putting it into our muscles. It's probably storing it into fat, right? And if our mindset, if we don't have this self-belief that we're worth it, that we are going to accomplish something, and we have all these negative feelings, that causes all these bad chemicals within us to hold on to fat. So people might be doing the right things physically, like exercising and eating right, but their cortisol levels are up through the roof. They're in a constant state of flight or fight, and they can't lose the weight. They can't lose the body fat. So what I do is help them create this plan to input routines of mind, body, and energy work. So that way they do accomplish their goals. You hit it from all angles, right? And that, to me, is what creates the transformation. That's what is sustainable, because that's what changes your lifestyle.
Okay, so let me see if I understand this, because I'm a layperson. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So, are you saying that as a man thinketh, so is he? That as I control my thoughts, my body, the things I do, the things I eat, the choices I make will be better, and I'll be able to lose weight quicker?
Yeah. So just having that approach of, say, setting up a routine instead of just setting this audacious goal to change a complete habit, right? Because most of us are still not, we don't really like to go to the gym, right?
Yeah.
We know it's good for us. So by definition, a habit is something that you do unconsciously, right? Now I guess mine's unconscious, but most people don't just unconsciously just go to the gym, right? They have to make that a conscious choice. So now that by definition, you're not trying to build a habit, you're building a routine, a healthy routine. And that's where the plan comes in, right? Where, okay, I'm gonna make my new routine to change my lifestyle so that I could accomplish these goals. And so in that routine, we implement practices of mind, body, and energy.
Okay. All right. So you're saying that as we build a routine, all three of those components are automatically in the routine.
Yeah. They're necessary.
Because we call it a commitment. When you make a commitment to something, and you begin to do it, it eventually becomes a routine. Hey, Pat, how you doing? Pat's in here from North Carolina. Yeah, and so as you build the routine, what happens, Cesar?
Yeah. So if you stick to this routine or this commitment, then you start creating new changes in your body. So like we have all these glands in our bodies that control our hormones. And if we're disciplined about implementing this routine, then our hormones in there are in a good, healthy state. So we got to get the inside right, the neurochemistry inside our bodies correct to be functioning. So that way we can digest the food that we put into our bodies. We can recover from the exercises that we do with our bodies.
Okay. Does anybody else have a question? I know we've got several people in here, and we're talking about achieving our resolutions through basically mind, body, and spirit, I guess is the way to express it. And one of the things that you have to do is change your mind. If you change your mind, because I'm trying to recap this, and if I'm wrong, Cesar, stop me. Mm-hmm. When you change your mind, you change your routine, and when you change your routine, you change the outcome.
Yes, that was perfectly said, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I said, if I get ready to mess this up, okay.
No,
all right. Okay, when we change the things we do, we get the things we want.
Yes. Exactly.
Is that okay? I'm gonna somebody write that in the chat. When we change the things we do, we get the things we want. Okay, Pat has a question. Comment. Yes, it's a comment. So let me put that up. It says, I just started a new early morning walking routine last week. I even brought, honest to gosh, walking shoes. I also threw away my,
sweet tea maker and switched to fruit juice. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those are really good, right? Especially in the early morning, is to be out in nature and taking that fresh air. It's so healthy for us, and it soothes our bodies within us, right? It soothes it takes us away from flight or fight of all the things we have to do to check email, that I got to do this and do that. But it brings us back to a state of harmony. It brings us back to a calmness because we're out exposed to nature and we're breathing in good, fresh air. All right, so that's a really good, healthy routine that she started. The other way of changing, say, the body, or say losing weight, getting healthier, is to decrease the amount of sugar. Right now, I'm working with a nutritionist in launching with my clients and any people that want to join on March 5th. We're doing basically a restart. It's a sugar cleanse. So we're taking everything out that's sweet in our diets for at least 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that you could have that's sweet is just one piece of fruit a day. And then when you do that, basically you're retraining your body, all your cells, to be able to take in sugar again. It's going to find out what is really sweet. And so I think a lot of us have to do this, because if you really ask yourself, for how many years, I just turned 35, have I been eating all kinds of sweet things, right? And especially it's progressed since like the 70s or 80s, that there's sugar in everything now. And so you need your body a break from that sugar and let it know how it can be digested again. So go ahead.
The thing I'm really concerned about, Cesar, is talking about what you ingest is bread. They put sugar in bread, and I love bread. I do. And Pat's even thrown away her sweet tea maker. We're trying. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to make that commitment that it's only going to take a few amount of weeks to get back to normal, right? Because we really don't know what normal is. But I bet you that once you make this commitment to say, I'm going to give up anything sweet for the next 3 weeks, and your body starts coming back to a state of harmony, back to a state that you're able to digest. Now, I know myself very well. I don't buy bread. I don't keep it in the house. Otherwise, I eat it. I love it too, and think it's the taste of it, right? It's so good. You could have it soft, all these things. So I don't keep it in the house at all. But if I go out to eat, say maybe once a week, then they serve me a little slice of bread, I'll have the slice of bread, right? And so it's like, you don't have to give it up forever in your life, right? That's what the misconception is, that I'm never going to be able to have bread again. It's just that you just don't have it as often again, because you know what kind of feelings it brings up in you. It derails you from your goals.
And it makes me give myself permission to keep allowing it to be
Mhm.
to be in my life. A little level is the whole loaf. So I have to really resist because it really, I really like it. Pat's saying something here. Let's see what she's saying.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not totally eliminating sugar, just reducing intake for now. Good. I just switched from toxic aluminum laden deodorant and make my own. Okay. I don't want to shock my system too much. It's probably wondering where all the aluminum and sugar went. I hear you, Pat. I
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah. No, I know
Yeah.
it's a big commitment to just completely cut it out. And that's why I think it's totally doable. I mean, I did it last year around this time, and I wanted to wait this year to do it with my clients after the Super Bowl because by this
Oh,
time, you know, you're kind of like on your resolutions, but you might go to a Super Bowl party and you might splurge a little bit, right? It's really difficult to just stay committed to, say, a certain diet on Super Bowl Sunday.
yes, it is. And it's sort of like Christmas when you're in the office. People start bringing you sweets. You know, oh,
Yeah,
I baked these cookies. Oh, I baked this pie. Oh, you got to taste this. You know.
yeah. It's really tough when all these external sources are bringing you, and that's just a little test that you know you're the universe is making to how committed you are to what you said you were going to set out to do. You know.
Ah, okay. So that's why it shows up.
Mhm, mhm.
And when it shows up, it's usually quote unquote free. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
yeah,
this
but
is
it's
not
not going to be free for your body, right? It's not going to feel.
exactly. It's not going to be free because it's going to cost me to try to, resolve this.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, tell us what else we can do to our brains to help us work on these resolutions that we've committed to. And
Yeah.
most people do make a resolution to lose weight or to be
Yeah,
healthy.
exactly. So what we can do is, yeah, start decreasing our carbohydrates, right? We can start exercising like Pat did in the mornings, just walking outside. Just any kind of movement will change your neurochemistry from within us. And again, the way I like what my one of my clients coaches says, she says the way out is within. So just going internally, we got to change that internally. So through not only our body neurochemistry, our mindset, like you guys teach, I teach a class that's called I-Rest meditation. So basically,
Mm-hmm.
I guide you through a meditation and you're in a comfortable position. And basically, it's just reorganizing all your, say, like your brain activity to come to a state of calmness. And therefore,
Mm-hmm.
things go back in order. And you're more likely to start changing and sticking to your routines because everything's in a calmer state, as opposed to in a frantic state where I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that. And, so when we're in a calmer state, using meditation, both in the morning and the evening would be ideal, because in the mornings, this is what I talked about last time, is we have this a couple hour window where we come out of a sleeping state to a fully waking state. And within that range, we could reprogram our subconscious mind, right? And we can
Mm.
also do it when we're going to sleep. Same thing happens. We go from a waking state down to a sleepy state. And in that time, in that range, is when we can reprogram that subconscious mind. So
Oh.
meditation is great. That's what you could do for your mindset, right? To be
Mm-hmm.
basically in a calmer state. So that way you could respond instead of react to, say, the brownies that come. It's like, okay, take a breath in. I could respond to this, not just automatically, okay, eat it.
Or get mad because they showed up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Pat says, I know I'm late, judging from your sporty jacket. Would it be right in guessing you're a coach and a trainer? So she
Yeah.
wants to know.
That's exactly what I am, but I'm definitely not like a say, I don't know, rigid trainer. Like I still eat sweets. You know, it's not like I'm perfect. You know, I like to look at my style of being more holistic wellness, right? So I really
Mm-hmm.
try to tune into how I feel as opposed to how I look, right? When I'm in my
Oh,
younger days, I used to be so rigid about like, all right, I got to do this amount of sprints and I got to lift this amount of weight and I got to eat this, you know, and that goes, it doesn't help anyone. It just causes more stress and it causes you to hold on to unwanted body fat.
ah. Well, we have a comment here from Brenna. Brenna says, natural sources of sugar is a good source, nothing processed.
Yeah, yeah. But like, I still make the argument that you got to give it up for a little bit because even when you're having, say, like good sweeteners like agave, right? That's a little lot. That's the
Uh-huh.
first thing that my clients tell me is like, all right, but what can I have? Like agave, and I have this other sweetener, right? It's still sweet. Our body recognizes that sweet. And what I'm trying to tell people is that we need to cut down a lot of that sweetener because our body recognizes it and it shoots up our insulin levels. And right now, our cells are not in a healthy state to be able to take in that sugar. Okay. Once we give it up for a little bit and our cells become more sensitive to sugar, then we are able to take it in and process it and use it to fuel our muscles, use it for energy, as opposed
Okay.
to right now, if it's in a frantic state, then we're basically storing it as fat.
Okay. Well, now, Dr. Tachi says that's a good attitude. The fact that we're not just trying to be an Olympic star overnight.
Mhm.
Okay. And then Brenda was clarifying. She says no agave. She's talking about from fruits only, sort of like just eating natural fruit versus
Yeah,
sweetening
exactly.
anything.
It's an
Getting
actual.
our getting our sugar from the fruit is, I think, is what she's saying.
Great. Yeah, no, that's I always tell my clients, if you want to try to lose weight, then try to stick to one piece of fruit a day, because if you really
Oh,
think about it, right, we don't grow bananas here. I'm in Sacramento. I don't see banana trees anywhere. I saw them in Costa Rica. But if
uh-huh.
you think about it, if we stick to the foods around us, right, we're so spoiled here that we get everything imported and we have access to all kinds of stuff that say it's high in sugar. So, sticking to at least just one, a day will bring down that sugar level in your diet.
Oh, okay. I never thought about that. I just eat fruit because I thought that was a quick way to change what I take in. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
so you're saying I really should moderate what I'm doing.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would stick to more vegetables. So I always tell people like if you just were to eat vegetables and meat, vegetables and protein, you'd be really healthy because you're getting plenty of carbohydrates from the vegetables, right?
Uh-huh.
And plenty of protein from whatever protein source you're getting. As long as they're naturally raised and organic, then that's healthier for us. So that's all you really, really need to survive, to be energized and a healthy person. Now you start adding, say, a piece of fruit every like once a day, just to have a
Mhm.
little bit of sweetness. And our bodies want a little bit of sweet after a meal. It's totally natural process that we take in. We have a little piece of chocolate or we have a little, piece of fruit, just to like satisfy us and satiate us. So it's totally natural process to do that. So I
Okay.
would say just to stick to eating more vegetables and proteins and limit the amounts of fruits or anything sweet for that matter.
Okay. Let me get these comments in here so you can see what they're talking to you, Doc. Okay,
Mhm.
hold on. Brenda says agave is processed. So then she says, if taking eat seasonally, like sweet potatoes, so that those are, I guess, naturally sweetened, but they're seasonal, so you're not dealing with them all the time. I thought you loved sweet potatoes. I did too. I
Mhm.
love sweet potato pie. I don't know about the rest of it. But I had a choice between you know, Idaho mash and yams, I usually choose yams. But then it usually has something sweet in there, doesn't it?
Right, right. We add a little bit of sugar. We add,
Something, something, But when I eat at my favorite restaurant, which is Season 52, they don't do all of that to the food, so it's much healthier for me.
mhm.
So I eat it without, what do you call it, guilt-free sweet potatoes.
I just want to mention another thing about a healthy routine. Like I'm about to teach a workshop in a little bit less than a month with a partner of mine. I don't know if you guys are into or heard of astrology component of things. So
Mm.
astrology is say taking a look, say the energy of the planets and how it affects us here on human life, right? And so we took a look at astrology. We look at your birth chart and we say it's the moment you took your first breath. Um, and we look up at the sky, at the heavens, and say, okay, where were the planets at that moment I took my first breath? So basically, it's saying that we possess all the energy that's around us when we took that first breath. And so it's interesting when you get this like read to you and start telling you of these characteristics of these energies from these planets. You start noticing that these are part of your life too. You start like, oh wow, when I don't feel safe, when I feel scared, I start doing these patterns, right? And it's probably not a healthy pattern, but this is the way I learned to do it in this life. So we take that and use my practice, Jin Shin Jutsu. It's an energy practice. So we have certain flows of energy that are used to create harmony. So say if I'm a Capricorn, I just had a birthday on the 2nd, and the Capricorn in my practice is related to the umbilicus flow of energy. And basically, there's a hold where I could just hold a finger, right? And I could get to that Capricorn energy, right? Where the
I'm listening to this. I'm listening to this because, I'm not into astrology, but go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just want to say that this is a chance for me to expose people to a little bit more different things that they're used to, as far as just the physical component of things. Instead of just exercise, and instead of just nutrition, instead of just meditation, right? Let's open our minds up to other things, right? And one thing is what I'm trying to make a big push for is open your mind to energy, right? Because energy, we can't see it, but we know it exists, right? And there's ways of tapping into a good state of energy. So in our bodies, we call it the innate wisdom of the body, right? So I think I said it last time, where you look at runners, and once they do a race, right, they hold on to the back of their hips like this to catch their breath. So right here is we call it a safety energy lock to help us breathe in air, to just breathe and be able to breathe and catch our breath. So our bodies are already doing this, right? I see people that are trying to remember things and they're like this, right? And so this shoots up energy to your brain to help you remember things. So we already do these things already. We just don't, not necessarily aware of them. And now once we become more aware of them, we can start using them when stress comes on, when we're in a frantic state, when we try to create more peace and harmony in our lives. Boom, you could go to your routine, you could go to your practices to bring harmony, calmness, so that you could be aligned with your goals.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. I'm
Mhm.
going to just comment on because it's pretty long. Pat says, I weaned myself from sweet tea by substituting stevia for sugar and then stopped altogether. I gradually used to much better with my diet, but living for a decade plus in abject poverty cut that short. It's hard living in a food desert with no transportation. I'm doing much better now and can actually afford to eat much better. And just to think, I used to be vegetarian when I was young, adult many moons ago. Let's see
Mhm.
what Brenna saying. Brenna says poverty is expensive health wise. It's cheaper to eat beans and lentils than buy from the dollar menu daily. The challenge is cooking when homeless, especially when in a shelter. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah. So we have folks who have changed their lifestyle over here and changed their habits as life has gotten easier, and are able to move into their own space and control their own environment. So with that, I'd like you to sort of wrap this up so we can have an overview, because we had some people who came in late. So if you could give us a quick summary of what we've been talking about today, Cesar, I would really appreciate it. This is Cesar Figueroa. He is a health and wellness coach. So with that,
Yeah. So I do mind body wellness practices. I teach um, obviously movement, like some personal training, using your own body weight mostly, and to create good chemicals running within our bodies. So the way out is within. And what I'm talking about is fulfilling your resolutions, that you got to approach your goals and your intentions from these three big components of the mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, energy components. And so one thing you could do, as Pat said, is for your body is to exercise, to just take that walk in the morning. For your mindset, you can start meditating. I teach a meditation class called I Rest Meditation, where I guide you through a meditation, and it starts reorganizing the chemistry in your mind in order for you to be in a calmer state so you could respond instead of react. And then the energy component, or the spirit component, is being aware that you're connected to everything around you. And so using that practice, say my practice of Jinshin Jitsu, to just come into, say, a hold. I'm going to hold my thumb, relax, breathe, lower my shoulders, and I'll see the effects of calmness, see the effects of harmony, that I'm connected to everything. I'm in a, for right now, I am in a healthy state. There's nothing for me to have to do. And when you come to that state of oneness, or that state of harmony, then, life isn't frantic, or you'll be able to respond to it. So that's how you're going to fulfill your resolutions, is by coming back to that state of harmony through these practices, through these routines of mind, body, spirit, mind, body, energy.
okay, and when we do that, we can fulfill our resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
This is what today's topic was. Thank you so much, Cesar. If people want to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
Yeah, please check me out either on my Facebook page at Seize Your Life. So it's CEEZ Your Life. You could check out my website, is also seizeyourlife.com. You could reach out through me through email at seizeyourlife@gmail.com. So any of those ways. I'm here locally in Sacramento. I have a variety of spots where I rent out space from. I'm teaching a workshop on astrology and your energy system on February 24th at Asha Yoga Studio. I'm launching like a restart and that sugar detox cleanse with a nutritionist on March 5th. And those are the couple workshops I have coming up. But yeah, get in touch with me if any of this sounds amusing, or if you want to learn a little bit more about, I love talking and vibing off of different people and energy that are interested in these things.
Great. Now, I'm going to close with these few comments. Pat says, Pat, Dr. Tachi says, Pat has a great point. The fact that, being healthy is directly related to access and income. And then Pat responds with, great show. Thanks, Cesar.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruna did have a comment. She said, respond instead of react. My mantra in I'm working on. You really get better results. Yes, when you respond instead of react. And then she says, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Brenna. Thank you, Pat.
And Tachi, we'll talk to you later. We thank you so much, Cesar, for your time. We want to give a shout out to Robin. She always has such great guests. And we look forward to next week. In the meantime, I want to remind everybody that First Mondays is coming up, and the Biz Chicks meet at Season 52 restaurant here in Sacramento, at the Arden Fair Mall at 6 o'clock on Monday evening, and you're all invited out to join us if you're in the area. In the meantime, we want to say, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow with the Tech Divas, where we're talking tech in English. Bye-bye.
Bye.